For more on this, Jason Rezaian is here. He's a Washington Post writer, of course, who was wrongfully detained in Iran. Also with us is Neda Sharghi. Her brother Ahmad has been unjustly imprisoned in Iran for 4 years. We've been following his story very closely. Jason, no matter what is happening kind of behind the scenes, talk to me about these face-to-face meetings with the president. Why are these face-to-face meetings with the president so important?
Well, it's a great question, Kate, and thanks for having us on to talk about it. It's so important to raise these cases to the highest level of government, not because the president or anyone in the administration is unaware of Paul Whelan or Brittany Griner's imprisonment or Ahmad's in Iran, but to really create a broad kind of political cost to not bringing these Americans home. It is such a terrible fate that wrongfully detained Americans are suffering, that their families are suffering, but it's not an easy one to resolve. And until there's a political cost to not doing so, it seems like these imprisonments go on interminably.
Yeah, and Neda, you spoke to Congress just yesterday and appealed for this very same thing, a face-to-face meeting with President Biden. What would it mean for your family?
Thank you for having me on. As Jason said, it's merely an indication that this is being taken seriously by the very person who holds the key to the release of my brother and the other Americans in Iran. And, Kate, from the beginning, this administration has said publicly, and they've said to us privately, that the freedom of our Americans, of my brother, is of the highest priority. And so it's time for them to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, and not only meet with us, but have concrete ways that they're working on to bring them home. They have many tools available to them, and they need to use them to bring Ahmad and the other Americans in Iran home.
And Jason, we do know that former Governor Bill Richardson and his team, they were in Moscow actually this week, meeting with Russian leadership over a meeting with Russian leadership. A lot is not known about what they're doing or what role they're playing, but we know that Brittany Griner's family has asked him for help. How do these private efforts play into what the administration might be doing?
I think traditionally, Kate, the U.S. government has not wanted to interact with people outside of government who might be able to play a helping role. That's changed over the last couple of years, but it's still not a very symbiotic or friendly relationship when these outside actors like Governor Richardson get involved. But the proof is in the pudding. He's got a track record of bringing Americans home from North Korea, from Myanmar, from Iran. So I think it's an important part of the community of folks working towards hostage recovery. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who takes credit for the releases. Bringing Americans home as quickly and safely as possible is and should be everyone's priority.
And Neda, if you were meeting with President Biden today, I was thinking about this earlier, what would you like to say to him? What do you want him to understand when you're face-to-face with him, what your family's going through?
I'd like for him to know that not only are we worried about the health and well-being of Ahmad and Bagher and Siamak and Morad, but we have families waiting for their loved ones. We have fathers waiting for their loved ones to come home. And life doesn't stop. There are health issues in our family members who are waiting to see their loved ones come home. And so the time is now. We have to get them home. And I would like to tell the president that when he does this, when he brings them home, and it needs to be done very soon, he will have the support of all of us, because bringing Americans home will always unite our nation. And not doing so will really cause harm and divisiveness and damage to sort of the identity of who we are as Americans. We don't leave our Americans behind. We need to bring them home.
And as you said to Congress yesterday, that stuck with me, having Americans wrongfully detained abroad is a threat to U.S. national security because it's a threat to all Americans when Americans can be detained wrongfully abroad. Netta, thank you so much for coming on again. We'll continue to follow your brother's story, Ahmaud Sharghi. And Jason, thank you as always.